How do you train your brain to think faster when you are being put on the spot? You see, when someone asks you a question and you are not prepared, what happens? The brain hits the panic button, you open tons of browser tabs in your head, trying to scramble for what to say. And as you start verbalizing your thoughts, it causes you to ramble instead of speaking clear thought. This could be extremely frustrating and even embarrassing. How do I know? Because I used to do it. It makes you feel awful. It makes you feel incompetent and it makes you look like you lack confidence in your speech. My name is Josiah and I'm a communication skills teacher. And today I'm going to share with you the exact solution to these common problems. So you may want to stick around to the end of this video to find out about this solution. But before we dive in, it is important for us to know why we ramble because having this knowledge can help us find a solution to rambling. So why do we ramble? I'm going to give you three reasons. The first one is not because we don't know what we're trying to say, it's actually the opposite. We have too much on our head and we feel pressure to say it all at once. Think about it. Have you ever been asked a very simple question like, tell me more about yourself? And then suddenly your brain throws 10 different answers. And because you don't know which one to pick, you start to ramble. Another big reason we ramble is nervousness. When we are anxious, our silence feels uncomfortable. So you may be thinking in your head, oh my God, if I stay silent, people are going to think I don't know anything. And then you keep filling the air with words just to feel in control when you're not, and that causes you to ramble. The third reason we ramble is because we are not clear on our main point. When you don't know what the destination of your message is, you'll just keep cycling around, hoping that your listeners are going to follow up somehow, but in reality, they're not. You get lost along the way. So, these are just three of the many reasons why we ramble: too many ideas, lack of clarity, nervousness. If we are able to distill our thoughts, if we are able to stay focused while we speak, we will be able to stop rambling. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. This is where I have to introduce you the PrEP framework. PrEP stands for point, reason, example, and pose a question. This framework is like a map for your thoughts. It helps you stay focused while you speak. So when a question is thrown at you and you are unprepared, instead of you to ramble, you fall back to the framework. So you may be wondering, Josiah, how exactly do I use this framework to stop rambling? It's very simple and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. When a random, unprepared question is thrown at you, the first thing that you need to do from the PrEP framework is to make a point. The point you're making here is just one single point. No matter how vast your understanding about the topic is, just make one point. Remember, we're trying to distill our thoughts here. We're trying to stay focused and avoid rambling. So one point is enough. After that, you give a reason to back up your point. This gives your listeners a logical reason to stay engaged. And then you move to examples where you can make your point real and relatable. This could be a story, an illustration, or well-known experience that can bring your point to life. And then you pose a question back to your listener. This keeps the conversation interactive. Let me give you a very quick example that can demonstrate how PrEP can be used in conversations. So let's pick a very broad topic. Let's say social media. Now, imagine I'm in a conversation with my friends, and let's say someone asks me about my opinion on social media, and I'm not prepared. Just look at how I distill my thoughts with PrEP framework. So first, I need to make a point. Social media is one of the most powerful tools in our world today because it connects people instantly, spreads information faster than any other medium, and shapes public opinion. Just think about how businesses uses Instagram and TikTok. A small clothing brand can reach about thousands of customers in a day. This could have been impossible just 20 years ago. So the real question is, are we using social media to shape our future or are we allowing it to shape us? Did you see that? Did you see how I just structured my thoughts? Normally, if I wanted to use a rambling style, I could have thought about a lot of things concerning social media and then ramble. But with PrEP, I stayed structured. That's the power of prep. So you may be wondering, Josiah, what if I have little amount of knowledge about the topic? That is where we usually panic and start to ramble. But with prep, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know how to adjust it. The full prep is point, reason, example, and pose a question. But if you don't have a valid example, you can just shorten it to PRP, point, reason, and pose a question. It still gives you a structured message. Even if sometimes you might not even have a valid reason to back up your point, you can still shorten it. P and P. It still gives you a structured message. For instance, let's say someone asks you a question like, what do you think about space travel? And you don't know about space travel, you're not a scientist, you could just, using PP, you could just say, I think space travel is one of the most exciting frontiers in humanity. While I don't know all the details, it is clear that exploration has pushed us forward. What do you think? Short, clear, and structured. So the key here is prep is adjustable. It gives you a skeleton to hang on your thought. If you have more knowledge, fill it out with examples and reasons. If you have less knowledge, keep it lean with PRP or PP. Whichever ways you still sound structured. So the next time someone throws a big, messy question at you, don't panic and don't ramble. Just remember prep. Give a point. If you have a reason, give a reason. If you have an example, give an example, and then pose a question back to your listener. It's short, it's simple, it's adjustable, and it works every single time. Now, I would love to hear from you. What situation do you think you use prep first? Is it in a job interview or a meeting? Whatever it is, just drop it in the comment section below. And if you found this video helpful, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe for more practical communication skills, and share this video with someone who tends to ramble. Trust me, they will thank you later. See you in the next one.